Hey everyone, welcome back. So today I wanted to do a review on a new foundation that just came out from Tarte, and I'm really excited about this review because I love Tarte's foundations. Honestly, I've tried almost every single foundation they sell with the exception of one, the powdered Amazonian clay one, and I've been impressed with every single foundation I've ever tried from Tarte. So I have high hopes for this foundation, and I knew when I saw the packaging that it came in, and then I saw the beautiful bottle that I was like, you know what, that really catches my eye, and I don't know, I'm gonna buy that and try it for you guys. So we are going to do a full demo and review on this foundation. If you are new and just stopping by, welcome. My name is Chelsea. I talk a lot and I just like to make you guys feel at home. Go pour yourself a cup of coffee, sit back and relax, and the first thing I want to do is jump straight into the demo so you can see how the foundation applies, the color I'm wearing, and then we'll delve further into the rest of the foundation specs after the demo. Alright, so I just got out of the shower and I freshly moisturized my face. Always key, don't skip moisturizing. It's just kind of key for any application of makeup. You need to have moisturized skin or nothing's ever going to turn out looking right. I have tried this foundation with several different methods of priming. I've used the Scandinavia primer spray. I've used this foundation without a primer, and I've really been digging the Laura Mercier Radiance primer lately, so I'm going to use that one today. But because I have some unwanted larger pores recently, I'm going to take a little bit of the Pore Minimizer just in my pore areas, which is right here, here, and here, just because when I apply a foundation I really want it to look flawless by the end, and when I have larger pores, filling them in is just what I need to do. So I'm going to take a little bit of this, obviously I've never used this, Pore Professional from Benefit, oh my gosh, it needs to be shooken up. It's all like watery and gross. See, seriously, I've never used this. Didn't know that was gonna happen. So shake it up. What other primers have I used? Okay, so I've used the primer spray. I've used the regular Smashbox primer. Pretty much you can use whatever kind of primer you want. I do not use a mattifying primer with this because I'm not really oily right now. So first of all, that it doesn't really do me any good except for dry me out. Is that gonna be shooken up enough? Who knew this got so separated? Hold on. Anyways, I like to use, I'm really into like a illuminating primer right now just because of the state of my skin is a little drier. We're in like the dead of winter. It's been off and on warm though, so my skin's kind of like, whoa, what's going on? Is this the right consistency? Is this supposed to be that watery? I don't know. Do I dare put this on my face? I don't know, let's try it. It can't get any worse than the reaction I had to a product down here, which I don't even want to show you. So this can't be any worse. So we'll just put a little bit of that here in the pore. That's a lot of that. Holy cow, Chelsea. It's been a hot minute since I've done a get ready with me or a foundation review. Obviously, I'm totally all over the place. Okay, and then I'm going to do the Laura Mercier Radiance Primer, which is just going to give you an all-over glow. If you don't want an all-over glow, then I would just do something like the Pore Minimizer or just a regular type of primer. I like the little bit of a glow that this gives my skin, especially now in the drier months. So now I'm going to go in and apply the foundation. I am in the shade Light Neutral, which matches me really well right now. I am not self-tan. This is just my natural state of whiteness. And this just really matches well. It's not too yellow. And some of Tarte's foundations can be very yellow undertoned. I do not find that this particular shade is at all. So this is what the bottle looks like. Look at the dropper. Isn't it beautiful? So I shake it up before I use it. And then what I do is it has the dropper style of applicator, right? So I take one full pump onto the back of my hand, and it is a more liquidy foundation, which I don't mind. I have tried 3 different types of brushes with this, and I most prefer this one right here. Oh my word, sorry. The Sigma Flat Top Kabuki, I feel it just absorbs too much product. Same with the OMG brush from IT Cosmetics. While I do love this brush, I just don't prefer it for this type of foundation. I prefer this type of brush. Now this is a Tarte brush as well, and it came with Tarte Concealer foundation, which I did do a review on, and I do find that this foundation reminds me of that. The finish is slightly different, and it's a slightly different. Well, maybe it's more than slightly, but similar but different. But anyways, I like this brush with that foundation, and because of the similarities, I prefer this brush with this foundation. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm gonna do one full pump, and this will give me about medium coverage. And I like this brush because I like that I can just kind of comb it down like this, and not comb it down, but you know what I mean. Brush it down like this, and it's going to fill in the pores and lines and stuff rather than like a buffing motion. It has a very initial glow, and it almost feels a little bit tacky, but that does dry to a finish that isn't super luminous and tacky. It dries to almost like a powder-like satin matte finish. It is beautiful. I feel that this foundation, sorry, I'm trying to hold on my towel. I feel that this foundation really replicates fresh, clean, evened out, flawless skin. Really is not a foundation that I think looks like you're wearing foundation. In fact, it's quite undetectable. So this is one full dropper, and I'm gonna go in with a second dropper, and this claims to be full coverage. I would say by the time you're done, it's about 3/4 coverage, which is perfect because if you have freckles, if you have any types of just natural skin things that you want to show through like freckles, they still will. Now you could definitely cover them if you wanted, like build it up, but I think 2 droppers is just perfect. It's let's see, I didn't even fill that one up. It gives you just enough coverage so that you don't look like you're wearing makeup, but you don't look like you're not wearing makeup, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna do it on the outside where I have all these blemishes going on. I had a reaction to something, not sure what, but it was a mean reaction. So I'm just gonna kind of go over here. The foundation itself is kind of runny, but it's a pigmented runny. It's not like thin, like it's not going to give much coverage. I feel like one dropper has a lot of coverage in it, and I just love the finish of this. So this is 2 full, sorry, I'm going to take this towel off. I can't deal with this anymore. This is 2 full drop, well, about 2 3/4 full droppers. 2 3/4 droppers. Alright, so I just went in and applied some concealer, and I set my concealer, and I just lightly powdered my face. The reason I powder my face is because I'm going to go in with powdered products, and in order for the bronzer and the blush and all that stuff to blend, it needs to blend against a smooth surface. So I set the foundation. Now, I wanted to tell you that I have worn this foundation without setting my face with powder, and it lasted. I did not get oily. I was really shocked by it. I really wanted to test it with the powder and without, just because some of you wear powder, some of you may not. And I found that it lasted just as well. So I decided to go ahead and powder my face today because I'm going to go in with powder bronzer and blush and all that stuff, and I don't want to be looking like a Skippy hot mess. So I wanted to show you what the finished base foundation looks like without any brows, lips, eyes, color. This is just not a good look. But this is what the finished product looks like. I think it covers well. Now I do have some blemishes and stuff going on here. These are probably larger than the type of blemishes you get. These are like hormonal and a reaction to something. But I think that's also a prime time to test a foundation because Not all of us have flawless skin 100% of the time. And so I feel like even though I shy away a little bit of getting here on camera and being like, oh, this is what my skin really looks like. And sometimes the HD can make it look worse than it actually does in real life. There is a little truth to that, but at the same time, I'm representing a real woman here, having real skin issues. And so I think putting a foundation to the test on that type of skin can help you decide whether it's going to work for you or not, because if your skin is like flawless, you're gonna love this foundation. But basically, yeah, so I'm gonna finish my makeup and then we'll come back and talk about all the specs, longevity, and all that stuff about the foundation. So voila, a full face of makeup does a woman good, I tell you what. I kind of went for more of like a natural, well, not makeup, but I washed my hair and let it air dry, as you saw. I just didn't really want to do fuss with it much today. We're not really gonna go anywhere, and it's kind of overcast and gray, and just kind of one of those days, quite honestly, where I want to be sitting on the couch with a glass of wine watching a movie. But I had to get this review up for you guys, so instead I put on a full face of makeup, but I poured myself a cup of coffee. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this. Is the packaging that the packaging that the foundation comes in. Isn't this beautiful? Like, just a beautiful ombre. They have an entire rainforest collections, and all the packaging is just gorgeous. So this is the Rainforest of the Sea Water Foundation. This foundation has 20% water in it, so it's going to be a very hydrating foundation, which for those of you who are oily, that might scare you and be like, no, that's not going to be for me. Now, I am not super oily, so I cannot speak from that point of view. I don't know if this will be the best foundation for you, but here's the thing. You can always mix foundations to concoct and create your favorite finish. I concoct and create foundations all the time. I very rarely just put one foundation on my face, with the exception of this one because I've been testing it out. Anyways, this has an SPF of 15 in it. I think overall, the way they market this is that it's going to be a great summery, springy foundation. So there's the packaging. Here's what the bottle looks like. I said in the demo, I'm in the shade Light Neutral, which is a very good match for me right now. I am not self-tanned. This is my complete natural, very fair state. I used to actually get more fair than I am now. I think that over time with age and just tanning and getting sun damage over the course of many years, I'm not as fair as I used to be, but I'm still not fair. Like, I'm kind of like dead on a light category. So the shade Light Neutral is great. It's not too yellow, it's not too pink, it's just a great neutral undertone. So they have a wide range of shades in this foundation, and this is the shade that I have chosen to use. So the foundation is $39. I purchased mine off of Sephora. I believe you can get it off of Sephora. Well, you can obviously get it off of Sephora, Chelsea. And there might be a few other places, but I like to shop at Sephora for things and get the points and whatever. Okay, I'm just looking at my notes to make sure I don't miss anything. So I applied in the demo about 1 3/4 droppers full. If you put 2 full droppers on your face, you're gonna get pretty full coverage. Now, as I stated in the demo, you can still see maybe a few, well, there's a makeup brush here, a few blemishes here, but that's not something that you're gonna want to cover up with a foundation anyways. Foundation is meant to even out the overall skin of your face. That's what concealer is for. So I would say, yeah, this is definitely full coverage. I'm looking pretty flawless when I'm looking at my viewfinder here. I've been wearing this steady for about, well, since I bought it. So I think every day for the past week and a half, I've been wearing this steady. And this is one of those foundations where you go out and you look in the sun, at yourself in the sun or your rearview mirror or whatever, and that's the true tell sign of whether you can see that you're wearing makeup or not, is to go out, sit in your car and fold down your thing and look at yourself. This doesn't look like foundation. This truly looks like skin, but it really evens out your complexion. I really love the coverage of this. I can see how you could put too much, but I don't know why you would ever need to, because quite frankly, 2 full droppers is more than enough. Okay, so I talked a little bit about the application in the demo, and this is the brush that I prefer. I didn't even mess around using a beauty blender to apply this because it has water in it and it's more liquidy. The beauty blender is really just going to absorb a ton of product, especially if you wet it as you're supposed to and have it be damp. I just don't see why wasting foundation that way. I really like it with this brush. Now, this is also a Tarte brush. I'll link this brush below. I did get this in a kit when I had bought and did a demo last year on a different Tarte foundation. But this is a great one. I love the fact that it's angled and it's dense, but it's not it doesn't feel the same as, say, where's my, like a kabuki brush like this. This is flatter. I like the angle because I feel like you can really get into the crevices around your nose and your face, and just kind of going like this motion, you can't really do with a flat brush like this. It's just not really the same. So I've been loving it with this brush. Okay, so the consistency, as I showed you, is pretty liquidy, but yet it's very pigmented within that liquid. So you could definitely do, I would say 1 full dropper gets you about medium coverage. 2 full droppers is going to get you up to full. And it builds without looking cakey. I mean, as you saw, I built this up and I don't think it looks cakey at all. I hope it's transferring well, but when I look in the mirror here, I really don't even see my foundation. And I've had this on for about half an hour or so. No, maybe like an hour. As you wear it, it really just marries into your skin, which I love. Okay, so the first, like if I had to choose some adjectives to describe this foundation, I was thinking about this in bed last night. Here's the words I came up with. It looks glowy, not dewy, glowy. It looks fresh, not like matte or dry or flat. It just looks fresh, like skin. Clean. The reason I chose clean is because I feel like like I said, when you look in the mirror, you don't see makeup. You just look clean, like, you know how fresh skin just has that natural glow? That's what this reminds me of. And satin, because as it dries, it creates like a satin natural finish. Not like this is highlighter, but if you look here, it's just like satin, just pretty. And about 3/4 coverage, if I had to choose, I would say about 3/4 coverage. Full coverage, when I think of full coverage, I think of the Marc Jacobs. That Marc Jacobs one I reviewed, what is that called? You know, the dropper one. Or I think of Estee Lauder Double Wear. It's not like that. This is very pretty, very skin-like, very realistic. Like a realistic foundation, I guess I could describe it as. Okay, so let's move on to the packaging I told you about. It's $39. And what else did I want to tell you guys? Oh, I've used this, like I said in the demo. I don't know why I'm reiterating it, but this is just what I do. I sprayed my face with the Scandinavia makeup primer spray and then applied it. I've also used a primer and applied this. I've also applied this not wearing a primer. And in all 3 scenarios, I found that this lasted about 10 solid hours. About 10 hours. It lasted... Well, okay, so last Saturday we had company over and I had worn this foundation. You saw me wearing it last Saturday and I said I was going to do a review and blah, blah, blah. And so I'd put that on about, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, our guests left about midnight and my makeup still was presentable. And that was after about 9 hours or so. So I would say max life maybe is about 10. Now, they claim 12. I think if you did like setting spray and powder and all that stuff, you could definitely get 12 hours out of it and not feel like it's breaking up. But after about 9 and a half, I could see where it was kind of breaking up in this area on me. But I would say this is definitely a great foundation for longevity and coverage. It looks very skin-like. I'm very, very pleased with it. The other little story I wanted to tell you as far as water is concerned. So we went to the water park one day while I was testing out this foundation, and it's like a splash park at the gym, and my kids were, in there splashing. My husband wasn't in there yet, so I was like trying to watch 2 kids, and you know how that is when there's like a million kids running around and all this stuff. So I'm standing there and my son is playing with this water. They're like these little holes, so he'd poke a hole and the water would come out and splash him in the face, and he thought that was funny, so he'd poke another hole, and I was just totally intrigued. And watching, you watch your kids and you're just sitting there laughing. Well, all of a sudden, I am drenched with water. Water is pouring out onto my body, down my face. I just so happened to be standing at the receiving end of a giant, now when I say giant, I mean, I'm 5'4". This bucket was probably all of 5'4" tall. At the top of this splash thing, it fills up progressively over probably 20 minutes, and then it dumps. So there's a ton of water in it. I was literally at the bottom where it falls down, totally oblivious to it. So there I am. I feel like people were probably just like, hey, look at her. She has no idea, and she's about to get just pummeled with water. And then after we got done with that, I told my husband about that and he thought it was pretty funny, whatever. So we got done like an hour later playing at the splash park, and we went in the car and I flipped on the thing to check out how my makeup looked. It was still on point, and I am not exaggerating. I am not lying. I even told my husband, I'm like, you know what? I actually think after my face got wet, it looks better because everything was like all married together and no lines, and it was like my foundation didn't even move. So all that being said, I think this will be a great foundation to go swimming in or to go to the splash park with your kids in. I don't know. I'm really, really pleased with this foundation. I've been very satisfied with the longevity, how it looks, how it applies. I really don't have anything negative to say about this foundation. I knew kind of in the back of my mind when I bought it that it was probably gonna be a winner for me, so I recommend this. I recommend checking this foundation out, especially for the upcoming spring and summer. I think even if you're oily, you can mix it in with something if you want to get the finish and the longevity factor from this foundation. I think if you're up to combo skin, you would probably really enjoy it. I would just set your face, especially, or even use a mattifying primer in the areas where you know your makeup kind of disappears. That's another thing too, like you know your face where your makeup disappears. Maybe put a mattifying primer in that area and something else in somewhere else or whatever. So let me just check my notes to make sure I didn't miss anything, because I always get mad at myself after I'm watching the video back to edit it and I'm like, oh, I didn't say that, and then I have to like annotate or whatever. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Give this video a thumbs up if you did. Let me know down below if you're going to check it out, or if you have any other questions for me that I did not mention or touch on, let me know down below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will chat with you soon. Bye guys.